Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at TechTrader.com. It's Tuesday the 31st, Halloween evening. And, well, the market didn't trade any tricks on us. Basically, popped up, pulled back, popped again, pulled back, popped again, formed a rising wedge, and then broke out. But at the end of the day, that's some profit taking set in. When the NASDAQ 100 made a new high and the S&P couldn't get through the high, barely did, and wasn't able to follow through, they pulled them back. But nevertheless, it was still a positive session. If you take a look at the hourly chart, you'll see that they have been almost vertical from 6,005 or so, 62.48. We've gone up about 243 points just in the last week and a half. Pretty big move. The S&P has gone from 25.44 to 25.83, so about 39 points. The pullback in this little wedge here has me a little concerned, but we'll see if it turns out to be a large bull wedge, and up we go, or whether it starts something new on the downside. For now, though, the NDX looks like they want to go higher. Let's take a look at a bunch of stocks that did really well. And we're going to start off with ADMS because I put a swing on it. Why did I put a swing on it? Well, I'm pretty convinced that after the big pop here on big volume in August, and then the consolidation pullback, which got it back down below support, turned out pretty quickly with a big breakaway gap yesterday. Today was the follow-through day. I really feel that at some point this is going to see 27 and 31. So I put a swing on it. 3.7 days to cover. APTI with an explosive move today jumped 516 at 27%. Big breakaway gap, big volume. The biggest since the IPO day. And now there is resistance up here at that post-IPO day. Came in at 2460. Today's high 2450. So it may not punch right through here, but if it does, I'm looking for high 20s pretty quickly. CLMT, some of the oil stocks are coming to the forefront, particularly the junior ones. This one broke out, popped, back and filled, and today broke out of that pattern. Looks to me like 10 and 12 and a half in potentials. Very small short position, but I'm starting to like the setup. Beautiful base, breakout, rising channel. If I draw this properly, there's your parallel channel, which tells me the possibilities are that we're going to see this run up towards 14. That's my target on CLMT. This might be a swing trade. We'll see. Looks pretty good. Cohu, one of our old favorites, continues to go. We first gave it to you here in February, and it was trading in the 15 range. It's now about 11 points higher. Today popping across resistance, I think we're headed to 29. CORT. Well, after a difficult start this morning, should I say big pop and then a big pullback from 19 or under 19, this thing went to almost 20. If you look at the daily chart now, you'll see that the wedge was broken today with a nice pop. And I think we broke out today. Volume picked up to 1.6 million. I'll be watching tomorrow the $20, 2010 range. We get through that. We could see a run to 22 and 24. 5.4 days to cover. CRE extended nicely and then pulled back right to the prior high. I think there's support there. I think we're headed to 39 and a half, let's call it. Next target about 4 points higher. 8.6 days to cover. Good chart. Nice base, breakout wedge, breakout flag. The fifth wave's underway and it should extend a bit. DAIO, well, D-A-I-O, data in out used to be called. I think that's what we call it. Anyway, you can see the rising channel, broke out of the ascending coil, big volume came in, and today up against the top of the channel. I would warn you that it may be due for a pullback consolidation, but momentum's pretty strong in this one. The long-term chart, very long-term, shows that this stock at one point traded at 15, and we may test that. Nice long base pattern. EXAS exploded, got up to 57.95. You remember when we were trading this down at the 3-4 range, right? Pretty amazing. You can see how that stock continues to move up. And at the top of the short-term channel and a little bit above the intermediate channel that goes across there, but it may be expanding. It wouldn't surprise me if we see the stock make a run at somewhere about, eventually, I'll take out at 80, but my short-term target, if it explodes through here, would be 65, 68. Global Blood, another follow-through day after yesterday's big pop we showed it to you last night. There's resistance right here. This is probably going to be a test of 41 coming up, as always, tomorrow. Long-term, though, 55 was the next major goal. There's a large gap in here that needs to be filled. That comes in around 45, so that's my near-term target. 8.8 days to cover on that beauty. Look, here's something I'm not going to normally talk about, but Bitcoin looks very powerful. Bitcoin Investment Trust, GBTC. It ran up, consolidated, ran up again, consolidated. It looks like wave 5 started today. That's why I'm showing it to you, because if wave 5 does come in and take out this 11 to 10 1065 area, we see 14, 15, 16, 18. This could be a $2,000 stock. It may be nuts, but there's your coil and there's your breakout and volume picked up. IDTI, explosive move today. Really came back nicely in the afternoon too. As you can see, it came down, came all the way back up, and then a pullback at the end of the day. But it's a great looking chart. 7 days to cover. I'm looking for a move that gets to the top of the longer term channel, comes in around 34.5 and then maybe 38. KEM. It took a solid for 2 weeks on a falling flag. It held support and bounced today, jumping $1.75 or 7%. It looks to me like that bar is the breakout day, and what we're going to do is challenge 27.35, and getting through that could get you in the low 30s. MLCO broke out a key resistance that had been in for 5 weeks here, jumping $1.64 or 7%. 7 million shares nearly traded. It looks to me like it's headed towards 28. Our next target at the top of the challenge, maybe even 29. Micron, fantastic, breaking out of a flag today and exploding for 266. That's a 6.4 run, and it's traded 62 million on the breakout. So I would think strong possibilities we're going to head towards 46, 48 range, maybe 50. Maser Robotics. Some of you remember when I first gave it to you here after it broke out of the wedge and started and formed a flag. And that was a good swing that took us from the low 30s to the mid 40s, and then it rolled over. Formed a big wedge, broke out again, and you can see how it held support on the pullback and then as mojoed its way up in a stair-step fashion. My original target was in the mid 60s. We reached that at 65.97 today. I think I said 66.7. My next target is 70 if this momentum continues. 4.7 days to cover. NTLA jumped today, 254, 9%, 750,000. That's big volume for that stock as it broke out of a wedge. Looking at the long-term chart, this is the new all-time high. I would think that stock may make it up to the high 30s. 7.5 days to cover. NVCR swing trade, snapping back to test the highs from September. We can get this to 22.30, and today's high was 22 even. We may see a run to the high 20s, 29 the target. There's 8.6 days to cover on that. And swing trade NVMI continues to look great. At this point, I would look for a move that goes vertical up towards the 35 range, mid-30s. Eventually, though, based on the angle of ascent, it wouldn't shock me if this made a run of 40. OLED swing trade did great today, didn't it? Up in 790 after being up as much as 11 actually. So it backed off about 3 points, 330. Still up 790. But the breakout was clean, the volume was good. I'm now looking for 165 and eventually 190 or better. Overstock. It just looks to me like this is not done yet. And if you look at the pattern, after running up sharply, it's stalling for 3-4 days here within a ascending wedge within a rising channel. If that channel holds true and we break out, we may be headed to 55. I put a swing on it today. QNST, I just knew this was going to pop late in the day after it broke out of that coil, but it did pull back. Maybe a chance to enter, but there is resistance up here near the 9.5, 3/4 range. Next target is 12, however. Square is just mojoing along and looks to me like it's headed towards, like I said, 39.40. 3.5 days to cover. Very, very strong chart. This looks like NVIDIA in its infant days. STRL, Sterling Construction, exploded. It was a good day trade. Turned out it blew right through the top of the channel, or it did it. And right to it. You look at that as the top of the channel. My next target is 22, 2 days to cover short. Trex exploded for 22 today, 25%. Strong earnings report. And a big close. I don't know how much more this has got because it's near the top of the channel, but if it accelerates, we could see 130. And finally, TRTN, one of our swing trades, popped another $1.50 today, and it came right off this test of support. I'd be looking now for this stock to take out 40.5 and run towards 45. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening. Let's make some money.